Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out to all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about consistency and compounding interest from the book The Psychology of Money. According to Einstein, compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And if you understand it, you earn it. And if you don't, you pay for it. A good example here is investing versus taking out a loan to buy something. Two of the most common big purchases that we will make in our lifetime will be a car and a house. And ang unang kailangan natin gawin for this purchase is mag-ipon ng pang down payment. And after that, the banks will provide the rest of the amount para dun sa bibili natin na kotse or bahay. And we'll then make monthly payments to them for 5 years, which is typical for car loans, and then around between 20 to 30 years for a house. Syempre, para kumita yung mga banks sa transaction na to, they will impose an interest rate to the amount that we have loaned. And I'll use our car as an example. 3.73% annually yung interest rate na binigay sa amin. That's a total of 18.66% for 5 years of making car payments. Based on a number of dealers that I talked to, the highest interest rate per year na binigay sa amin is around 6.83%. That is 34.13% for 5 years. Yung 938,000 na auto becomes 1.25 million pesos because of interest. That's more money going out of your pocket. On the other hand, let's tackle the investing side naman. To better understand compounding interest in investing, you should familiarize yourself with the pareto principle. This is more commonly known as the 80-20 principle. This idea suggests that you don't need tremendous force to create tremendous results. So most of the time, 20% of your efforts yields 80% of the rewards. And that gains come from a small percentage of actions. So now check your portfolios and maybe you can see that 80% of your gains come from 20% of your assets. Charlie Munger once said that if you remove just a few of Berkshire's top investments, its long-term track record is pretty average. So hindi lahat ng stocks na pinili nila ni Warren Buffett nag-skyrocket to the moon. This is a reminder to us all that a small starting base can lead to results so extraordinary they seem to defy logic. Get this, 81.5 billion US dollars of Warren Buffett's 84.5 billion US dollars net worth came after his 65th birthday. So from the moment that he started investing, around 11 years old, up until he was 65, he was able to build a $3 billion net worth. It took him 54 years to do that. And I'm not saying that's not an impressive feat to achieve, kasi most of us won't ever see or accumulate that amount of wealth. The point here is that 99% of Buffett's net worth was accumulated after he was 65 years old. This shows how powerful the compounding effect is. Our minds are not built to handle such absurdities. It's pretty challenging to wrap our heads around this, and most of the time, people will dismiss the notion of long-term investing if they hear a 10-year, 20-year, or 30-year period. Warren Buffett started very early, so he clearly had an advantage. And he is a good investor ever since he was a child. He has been a phenomenal investor for 3/4 of a century. That's 75 years of consistently and patiently taking advantage of compounding interest. So he's basically the compounding interest king. Warren's skill is investing, but his secret is actually time. So with time, risk disappears. The historical odds of making money in the US markets are 50-50 over 1-day periods. And that goes up to around 68% in 1-year periods. In a 10-year period naman, that's going up to 88%. However, it's 100% in 20-year periods. You're essentially unbeatable if you invest long term. So we talked about this in a previous episode, and I really like it whenever this comes up because it encourages me and hopefully you as well to double down on long-term investing. And going back to Charlie Munger, again, is Warren Buffett's partner and friend. He says that the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unintentionally or unnecessarily. Compounding works best when you can give a plan years or decades to grow. You need to stick around long enough for investing gains to work in your favor. You have to remember that the highest returns that we get tend to be one-off hits that can't be repeated or it's hard to imitate. Whether that's YOLOing on a shitcoin in crypto and, getting lucky, or riding the wave of rising meme coins or rising meme stocks valuations. The more feasible strategy is earning pretty good returns that you can stick with and which can be repeated for the longest period of time. If you want safer, predictable, and more stable returns, you invest in large public companies or blue chip stocks. And in my opinion, the better option is by investing in low-cost ETFs that tracks a stock market index. You deposit money to your broker account every month as you receive your pay. Buy the ETF or ETFs that you've chosen, regardless of the price. Rinse and repeat and watch your portfolio grow every year. So, consistency is the key here. Ignore all the market noise and hype. You have to remember that. Stay patient and just keep buying. And the trick when dealing with failure is arranging your financial life in a way that a bad investment here and there and a missed financial goal won't wipe you out so you can keep playing until the odds fall in your favor. Become financially unbreakable so that you can stick long enough for compounding to work its wonders. So, Nassim Taleb, we also talked about him previously. He wrote the book Anti-Fragile. So, if you're interested to read an awesome book, you should check it out. So, he puts this into perspective perfectly. He said that you can be risk-loving and yet completely averse to ruin. Always have a margin of safety or a room for error. If you read the book of Ben Graham, the favorite investing book of Warren Buffett, they discuss there the importance of margin of safety. So you should always have that. And remember that exponential growth is driven by compounding, which always takes time. That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Sana may natutunan kayo. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see you all in the next episode. Always remember, be Peso smart.